Right, ice cream van's out, sun's out. Let's go. We good?
Hello and welcome to episode 32 of the GVE London Podcast. And today we are in a bit of an unusual setting. A pimped out Mercedes V-Class, and I've got George and Andreas with me. So guys, today's an internal podcast and we're just going to be talking about the industry, what's been going on lately, any new car releases, what we're seeing happening in the marketplace. Hey guys, so just a quick mention of our sponsor for today's episode, Howden Insurance Group. Howden is a global insurance broker that specializes in several sectors, including the motor trade. Now, with over 30 years experience, they've got the expertise to handle all of your insurance needs, whether you're a small business or a multinational corporation. At GVE London, we have our own requirement for insurance and have been using Howden for many years now. We found this service to be personally tailored and very effective. In the auto division, they can serve your car enthusiasts to business owners with extensive vehicle fleets. So if you're looking for comprehensive and reliable insurance solutions, check out Howden through the link in the description. Thanks to Howden for supporting the podcast, and now let's get back to the show.
I think it's been quite an exciting time for the car market. We're seeing this transition of cars go from naturally aspirated, then to turbocharged, then to hybrid, and then to electrifying them, and now almost a U-turn, where Ferrari and Lamborghini have both now released new V12s.
Really?
Mercedes themselves have also gone back from their V4 to a V6 and a V8. No, they've reintroduced the V8 as well.
Yep.
So it's almost like, I think they found a bit more time before everything has to, they have to put a ban to internal combustion engines.
Yeah.
So it looks like your real petrol heads are in for a good time.
All right, cool. So, well, Lamborghini, let's start with them. So we got a Urus SE, right?
Yes.
Go on, tell me about that.
Do you know what? When they announced it a couple of years ago and they said they're going to be doing this hybrid version of the Urus, and I was thinking, is it going to do well? I'm not sure. But almost like the real turning point for me is when I saw the design. And I was like, okay, the new Revuelto lights on the front, they redesigned the back. And I was like, now this excites me because it's like a different car.
Yeah.
The Urus S and the Urus Performante looked way too similar to the normal Urus. And I was like, why are you paying that premium?
Yeah.
You can put a carbon bonnet on the normal Urus.
I mean, it drives a lot better.
What, the S or the Performante?
The Perf.
Really?
Oh man, it's took it out for a spin the other day, and compared to the normal one, the handling's so much better.
Yeah, that's because of the suspension they got in it.
As well.
Yeah, and I was expecting it to be, like initially everybody was saying that, well, the springs are, it's just going to be a really hard ride, and long journeys are going to be nasty in it, this, that and the other. Nah, I really think.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, I can live with that.
Oh, wow.
I think, if you're going to get a Lambo, you want it to feel like you're in something special, and that's why the Perf's probably done so well.
Yeah.
Better than the Urus S, which is now going under list, which is crazy.
That right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, but are they still producing the S's now?
Yeah, still in production.
But soon to stop.
Yeah, once the SE goes into door, then the S and the Performante are going to come to a halt.
Okay, so, and the S's, in general, if you want to pick a brand new one up, then you can get it for how much off list?
I don't know if Lamborghini directly are doing discount on them, but you can get a used one online with only a couple of thousand miles for 15 grand off list.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's one. The cheapest S on the market's 225 now.
Really?
Yeah, which is
and the list would have been.
This would have been about 250.
Wow.
I think. Do you know the thing with the Uruses as well? Because the exact same thing happened in 19 and 20. The original Uruses dropped below list, and then they went back up again. So if you remember, we were buying Uruses back in 19 for 180, and then all of a sudden
that was the
20,
COVID effect. No.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. The whole thing happened with COVID, and then cars, there was a shortage, and then Lamborghini themselves actually upped the list price on them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think there's still a chance for that to happen now because everything's dropped with a lack of sales over the last year, with interest rates going higher and people just pulling out from order slots. But now with the market stabilizing and finding that cars are actually shifting, which we should see an upward trajectory of pricing. So I'm hoping, I don't think it'll be as sharp of an uplift on pricing like we saw back in 19 and 20, but we were bound to see a lift from this. You can't be
You
getting
reckon?
Urus S's at 20 odd grand under
But
this.
it's
That is,
harder for people to get financing at the moment, right?
oh, it's picking up again now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was bad a year ago.
Yeah.
And now it's like they're talking that there should be another drop in the interest rate. I think the Bank of England rate is
Yeah.
going to be dropping after a long time as well.
Yeah.
Which is obviously going to have a knock-on
Well, it's not
effect.
guaranteed, but let's see.
You're a betting man.
Huh? But it's all to do with inflation, right? And so the other day they put an article out saying that house prices have gone up for the first time in ages.
Oh, okay.
So the question is, will
Sorry.
they try and... Well, are you okay?
Sorry.
Probably shook.
It looked like he was going straight into the lorry.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, I must look like a quiet
What's this
I was thinking, should I say something? Should I stay quiet?
Okay, well, fine. I thought you were getting scared about the bloody interest rate. But anyway, fine. So that's Lambo then. Lambo SE's the next best thing, you think?
I think, yeah. Okay, so it's a given. Performance SUVs are good sellers all the way around. You can go and you can give it to your wife, you can give it to your girlfriend, you can give it to whoever, your mistress,
Yeah.
and
Gonna get in trouble for that anyway.
and then the men also want it as well as like a performance daily. So that market is so big, and it's almost like a guaranteed recipe for success. So
But don't
introducing
you
a
reckon
new
they're making
design.
so many of them? Like I drove the the Lotus 4x4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh man, I didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's all
Fully
electric,
fully
fully
electric.
electric, and the whole kind of stop-start thing
Yeah, it's a
with the
weird feel,
electric
isn't it?
drive. I just felt like after, but I did drive it around the track,
Yeah.
and the instructor was like, "Can you stop driving it like you're driving a race car?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, and but it's that whole feeling of you feel a bit sick. Do you guys
Yeah.
feel sick in
I
electric
don't like
cars?
It's that humming noise you get with electric cars.
Yeah.
Just that constant, and then you got the engine brake, as you said. It just feels like the car's just like
Start, stop,
it's
start,
just like
stop.
it's just doing
Yeah.
this, but it doesn't have that kind of doesn't
Coast.
roll. It doesn't
Yeah.
coast exactly.
You're totally right.
It doesn't. So it's a bit doesn't
But
bother me.
the SE, so what is that going to be then in terms of engine and whatnot?
So it's a hybrid, isn't it? And it's
Hybrid. The thing is,
900?
stick to a 4-litre V8
Yep.
bi-turbo, but also introduce the hybrid power as well.
Yeah.
So
That's going to be some crazy power in it.
yeah.
800 brake, isn't it?
Yeah.
800
brake.
brake.
Yeah.
On a 4x4.
yeah.
But they're also introducing the Lazarius. Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
the
The
full EV.
electric.
Oh,
yeah,
the full electric
full
one,
electric
yeah,
one.
yeah.
So
I mean,
they-
that looked cool,
Yeah.
but with the new Urus, why would you want to go for that now?
That's
Don't you think?
Exactly.
kind of.
It's like it comes back to what you were saying. Just don't like driving for electric cars.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to do very well. Let's see how it
But
goes.
back on your first point about Ferrari and that they're bringing all the V12s and stuff, it's because they're not making the money on electric sales.
Of course.
They're losing their money. And like Mercedes, for example, what they projected they're going to be selling for next year, they're nowhere near these targets. And they're saying, well, how are we going to sustain? It's not sustainable. We need to build cars that we're going to start making money on. And they've gone, well, no, we want to build cars that people are going to buy. That's why they're bringing back all these other cars. And Ferrari and Lamborghini are going, you know what, we're going to push it as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Same with
as
Porsche.
as long
you
as
know.
we can.
Yeah, as long as we can.
So with Lambo, it's not only the Urus that's exciting.
We're finally seeing an end to the iconic V10. So one of the best sounding supercars. Probably one of our best selling ones as well.
Yeah.
It's just value for money, what that car does. And once again, the market capture it's got is insane. So it's quite a sad moment really to think that the Lamborghini are not producing any more V10s and it's now going to V8 hybrid and bi-turbo as well.
Wow.
So it'd be the same engine, similar engine to what was in the Urus.
Yeah, no, it's a full new one though. So it's a full new V8 with 2 turbos on top like the AMGs do. So they have a flat crank and it's got the 3 electric motors as well, like the Revolto.
Wow.
So yeah, that's going to be 900 horsepower altogether.
Oh my god.
And a baby Lambo.
But have they said what they're thinking in terms of like list price and whatnot?
They haven't as yet. No, all they've done is just announced just the engine for the moment, and they said they've rumored about names and stuff like that, but all they said is just the engine.
But based on the Revuelto,
Yeah.
I'd probably hazard a guess of maybe low 300s. You'd think?
I think,
start.
yeah, it's probably got it's got a chance of going to around 350, easy.
So yeah, I mean, yes, it is a V8. We do lose the great V10, but it's going to be redlining at 10,000 RPM.
10,000?
10,000.
Is there? There's not a car at the moment that revs to 10,000.
Only a
right?
few, like I think,
like a road going.
Yeah, like a Valkyrie or something would rev that high, or an AMG Project One. You know, like that's their car. The 10,000 RPM for like a baby Lambo. That's going to sound incredible.
The thing is, that was really good with the Hurricane as well, was that noise.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how are they going to bring that back and recreate that with a V8? Is it even possible, or is it going to be like manufactured? This AMG pops and bangs sort of thing you see on the new C63s.
Yeah.
But
I think we'll have faith in Lambo. Lambo's noise is so important for a Lamborghini that they're going to make sure that thing sounds very good.
You say that.
So
most Revuelto people who've just taken delivery of their car, they're saying it doesn't sound anywhere near as good.
Really?
No way.
Yeah.
Why?
I think they got rid of that droning noise that was there. So like in a V12, you can hear it droning, and you hear that massive V12 kick in when you clunk it down again. Or it could just be the talks are that they only really get broken into after 1,000 miles. So it could just be that the engine's not broken into yet, which is why they're not sounding so great.
Okay.
But
well, no, we've started to see them in Mayfair now, right?
Yeah. I saw a lovely Grigio Telesto one yesterday.
That's nice.
I
like the back end.
Yeah.
But the front, I'm not the biggest fan.
Really?
I know it's a little bit controversial, man.
I love the front.
I just think, I reckon, for me personally, I still think the SV, the SVJ,
but that's the thing, though.
They just look so much.
I think Revuelto SV, when they put the spoilers on at the extra fins, that will start looking more aggressive. It's more, I think, because this is the standard Revuelto. You know, but when they start beefing it up over the years,
I just think it looks quite simple from the front.
Really?
And that's the whole point of a Lambo is to look aggressive, you know, with sharp lines.
It's subjective, I guess, but I think it's like when a manufacturer does something that's such a big change to how they were doing it before, everyone naturally is going to be like, why are you changing something that looks so beautiful? But then after a couple of years, it's like, it seems like when the 720 happened with McLaren, everyone was like, why would you do that? You got rid of the Kiwi lights in the front, there's a beautiful design. And now you wouldn't think of a McLaren any other way.
I mean, the 750, we saw it yesterday at this
concourse. It looks exactly the same.
What the hell is that all about? I get it, it's fast. But surely if you're going to be spending that extra money, you want something that's
looks
been
different.
updated.
Exactly. I think the funny thing with that as well, there's two things. One is what you said is reflected in the price. You can now pick up a 750 Spider for 60 or 70,000 pounds off list, brand new. Yep.
60, 70.
We were getting offered loads of them. There was one that listed at 350,000 pounds, and we were able to buy it for 280, 270.
Oh my god!
A lot of them coming from up north as well. And then the second thing was, obviously we love McLarens, but it looks like they haven't sorted out the reliability issue. So when we were there yesterday, I'm not sure if you heard, but the owner of the 750 came, and he was getting in the car, and he's like, when I brought the car here, it's fine, and now it's got loads of issues. As he was getting in the car, and I was like, that's okay, it's your typical park a McLaren up for a couple of days, and you're bound to come back to some issues.
Look, I don't know. It's certain models are more temperamental than others, right?
Yeah.
Like we've said before on the podcast, that we've kind of stopped 12Cs altogether. 650Ss will do a couple here and there. Yeah. But still, even those are quite dangerous to sell because we just don't know, what can go wrong with them.
Yeah. I think that what we've always found as well is that when they use the same chassis, they use the same gearbox and the same engine, which they probably do for about 3 models. So like the 12C was the same setup between that, the 650 and the 675. Then they changed small components. It got more and more reliable as each model came along. Which is why it's weird. I thought the 750 would have been like perfected to have the 720S and the 765, and then the 750 should be the perfect model. So it's weird. I thought they would have sorted out the reliability thing on that, but let's see.
But then what about Ferrari?
Ferrari have introduced another V12. So this is a good thing and a bad thing.
How do you pronounce it? Cilindri.
V12 Cilindri.
Yeah.
So it looks very similar to the Daytona that they released. And they've almost brought that iconic design back. But what they've done different this time is they are releasing the coupe and then the GTS model at the same time.
Oh, really?
Normally they introduce the convertible model like a couple of years down the line, but they've done both at the same time.
That's unusual, right?
It is. I think it's the first time they've done that. But
Normally the delay builds up a whole load of like, FOMO
yeah,
and then the premiums just go through the roof.
and they'll
For the
double up
GTSs.
as well. So people who had bought the coupe will then want the GTS.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like you either want one or the other because they're both coming out at the same time.
Wow.
So maybe it's just the limited in production. There's like one final hurrah to the V12. They're trying to squeeze in that last production V12 and get what they can out.
I do like the look of it.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite stylish, man.
You like the look of that but don't like the River Auto? Yeah, styling's definitely subjective.
Yeah, it's all personal preference.
Yeah.
Just like your dress sense, right?
My dress sense is universal.
Says a guy that's wearing shorts and a t-shirt. But
do you know who I feel really sorry for?
not me. Go on.
No, 812 comp owners.
Why
The people
though?
who pay
But they're still-
1.3 million pounds.
Have they come down? Enough?
They will.
You reckon?
The reason people are paying that sort of money for it, and then the F12 TDF prices have gone up so much, this is the last Ferrari V12 that you'll get, and the prices shot up. We saw F12 TDFs go
on the 812 comps. How many were made?
812.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll double check that.
So how many 812 comps? How many 812 comps were made?
999.
Wow, how do you know this? Amazing. This is amazing. You're really good. Okay, but no. So 999 were made worldwide.
Yeah.
In the UK, we'll probably get maybe 15%, I'd say.
Yeah.
15 to 20% less.
Most of them went to
very
America,
most.
they said.
And of those 20%, some, I believe, have gone abroad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
And
potentially been responsible for.
Yeah, we've been responsible for a couple of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting, right? What the price will do. I think it'll hold. In my mind, I think that's going to hold.
Because they're going to have to do a limited edition version of the V12 Cilindri as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Not a few more years though, wouldn't they?
it'll be, yeah.
We do a few.
Again, we know what our Ferrari collectors are like. They want one of every single one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the selling point, that this has its place in history as well, and it looks so bloody nice.
I just think because the price is inflated so much, TDS was selling for 400,000, 500,000 pounds on the market, and then all of a sudden, I remember we took this silver TDF into stock, and it went up to like 950,000 pounds. I
Yeah.
was thinking, okay, we're going a bit higher because it was the only one on the market at the time, and it went. And then everyone else started pricing the TDFs at $1 million, and I was thinking, that's crazy, they've doubled in price since the comp came out because it was so hard to get hold of, saying this is the last V12 Ferrari you're making. I think that was a superficial jump in price, so we're going to have to see a bit of a correction there. That's my opinion anyways.
Okay, so we've done Lambo, we've done Ferrari. What about Porsche?
So Porsche, we have finally got a hybrid 911. So with the 992.2, they've said that they're going to finally release a hybrid. So it's, but the thing is that what they've done interesting, that not all models are hybrid so far. So only the base 911s are going to be normal, naturally aspirated, turbos.
Yeah.
But the GTS is going to be a hybrid only.
Wow.
So, but it's not a conventional hybrid, so you can't drive it on electric power alone. It's only a boost for the power.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can't just put it in electric mode and drive it. It's not going to work like that.
No.
So,
again, it's just going to be mental in terms of speed.
But it's
right?
very clever. Like I did the video on it this week on it, and they said it's Porsche's clever way of how they can increase the power but then reduce the emissions.
Yeah.
So it's very good how they've done it. But the Turbo S and the Turbo are going to be hybrid as well.
Wow.
So with rumored to be like over 700 horsepower, whatever they are. So it's going to be
sign of things to come.
Yeah. But
and the styling's pretty much the same, I take it.
Porsche's styling is
It never really changes.
Yeah.
Iconic 911 design.
They don't change much. So
Well, why change it if it's not broken? Why fix it if it's not broken?
Yeah, that's right. So then the Merc EQG.
EQG. Yes,
When's
the
that coming
electric
out,
G-Wagon.
Everybody's put their deposits on, right?
This year.
Yeah, they'll do the facelift G63 first, and then the G500, G400s, and then the EQG would be the last one to come out straight after.
Okay.
But I think predicting early next year, we'll see the first bunch.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think that it's going to be a hit?
No. Any electric car that comes out it crashes in price. No matter how much hype there is behind it, it will lose money. It'll be, okay, the
I got a
gimmick
feeling
thing.
that that's going to... I mean, actually, I was just going to say Spectre.
Yeah.
How's that doing in price now?
30 grand off list.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
We were speaking to someone yesterday who was Rolls-Royce's brand ambassador.
Yeah.
And he left Rolls-Royce just when the Spectre was released, and he was like, everything was going so well until the Spectre came out.
Really?
Which is weird, because I thought that is the ultimate Rolls-Royce because it's electric.
I love the styling on that, by the way.
Really?
I think it looks fantastic. We had one in the other day, right?
Yeah.
I just think it looks amazing, but I don't know, electric, the same bloody thing, right?
But I thought that would work well for Rolls-Royce because
no noise.
the whole
that
thing with
sort of
Rolls-Royce is make it as smooth, make it as quiet as possible, and then electric is the ultimate version of that.
Yeah.
But I think, do you think it's a case that electric cars don't sell well abroad, and that's why export sort of dictates the market a bit as well?
It all depends. It all depends. At the right time, they will sell really well abroad.
Yeah.
So if a certain country has turned around and said, go on, we'll scrap any tax on imports for electric cars,
All of a
just
sudden
goes
they'll
nuts.
jump up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so in theory, I would have thought that Spectre would have done amazingly well.
Yeah. They
And
did at the beginning.
Yeah.
20, 30 grand over list we were getting, and then all of a sudden,
It's just
yeah,
trash.
now it's the other way around, 30
So
grand
now,
off list.
what is the, 1 or 2,000 miles on a Spectre? How much can you pick one up for?
280, I'd say.
280,000.
Yeah, around 280 you can get yourself Spectre.
And it's going that way. It's more likely that it's going to go down
Yeah.
than it is up, right?
100% only
Wow.
going down.
That's crazy. General market sentiment. What do you think? I mean, you, Andreas, said to me the other day that we are getting flooded with people wanting to sell their cars,
Yes.
right? So that for buyers, in theory, should present amazing opportunities, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. People are wanting out and they're just wanting to just cash out of cars. So there's opportunities to buy cars at good prices, so for us to buy them and also for customers to buy them under what they're advertised now. I think the market at the moment, the little cars on the Auto Trader, that's not an accurate reflection of what they're actually selling for,
So there's deals to be had.
There's definitely deals to be had. People are
I
like,
guess
"Oh, but my
that's
car's worth this,"
subject to the right model, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So there'll be other models. Like
Yeah.
I guarantee SVJs right now.
Yeah, SVJs is
Still hard.
it's
It's like
really well.
you can stand firm and just be like, no,
Yeah.
price is a price because
They're going up.
They're going up.
There's no replacement for it.
Isn't that great? Huh?
that's a car that's survived the whole price, crash.
Fluctuations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's good because, people say, oh, my car's worth this because this is a car in the Auto Trader, which is exactly the same spec, but it's not really worth that. It's worth, because they're not selling at that amount,
Yeah.
So the idea is, give us a call and, we can hopefully get a good deal for you. It's a good time to sell.
And then George, what about sales?
Well, I think we touched on this briefly before, but the market's stabilizing now. So, albeit, yes, people are offering their cars and they're all coming up for sale, but where before we were finding people were trying to price beat and drop the price and just be the most competitively priced car on the market, that's not happening so much right now. We're not seeing this massive drop in price by every week, having to drop them by 10 grand.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just stable to the point that I think that's giving a bit more confidence to buyers. So we're seeing people are buying more now.
Well, I think the more that happens, not only is it giving buyers confidence, but then it's giving finance companies confidence, which then helps with the residual values, which
100%.
then brings the finance repayments down, which then boosts sales more and more and more.
It's like a knock-on butterfly effect. Yeah, everything has this knock-on effect with each other, which end of the day comes up and results in
lots of people owning supercars.
Yep.
And GV doing really well.
Yeah.
That
is
So guys, let's see what's been happening at GVE this last week.
Hey guys, I am stood alongside a true British track icon. It's the Noble M600. Now, we are super excited about this project because it's not just PPF, we are going to town. So a bit of a background behind this. A good client of ours who buys and sells a lot of cars through us, and he found himself this. He wanted a bit of a track toy, but granted, it's probably an expensive track toy. However, delivers one of the most genuine, satisfying experiences a driver can have on the track. So he ended up going for it. Bought it, but it hadn't been serviced in a couple of years, was sort of tied up in the guy's collection in his garage, and he wasn't using it much, so it wasn't in the best of condition. That's where we stepped in and said, okay, get the car over to us, we'll have a look over it, and we'll get everything done in-house. The car came over, had a look through it, and yes, great, stunning car. However, it had a couple of chips on the rear intakes, it had a couple of chips around the rear wheel arches, and I'm sure, as you guys know, it's a full carbon fiber body. So to paint one of these things and get that exact match with a metallic fleck on the paintwork, which almost looks black from a distance, but if you get closer, it's this deeper purple with a metallic fleck in there. It's stunning, needs to be seen in person, but isn't the easiest of paints to match. However, not an issue for us. So it went from our detailing department, where we were just fully polishing the car, and then sent over to the body shop just to get the chips touched in, then sent back to our detailing department to have its final stage of polishing. Now, it's a very, very tricky situation with these, as I'm sure many of you know, and you Noble fanatics know, it's a very thin layer of paint on top of the carbon fiber paintwork. So, of course, you have a thin layer of primer that's just underneath it as well, but if you do polish through the paint, you will then expose the primer. Now, getting a match on the paintwork from each panel to another panel is pretty much going to entail a full car respray, which is not the cheapest thing to do. So we had to be super careful with this and make sure that it was done to perfection, at the same time removing all imperfections from the top layer of the paintwork, but with a balance of not polishing it too much to expose the risk of burning through the paint. Now, the guys did splendid with the job. As you can see, it is absolute perfection. You can't see any imperfections on this whatsoever. It actually looks better than when it came out from factory. Now, what you don't want to do with a car that looks as good as this is expose it to all the elements of the outside world, meaning it had to get protected. So it's sat here right now in our bespoke PPF unit, where we are going to do a full PPF coverage on this car. It is going to be protected with the absolute best material available, and that is this XPEL Ultimate Plus. This is going to be protecting this investment and making sure that nothing penetrates this film, which is also self-healing, the best available. Now, the thing behind protecting this is not just for the looks, because A, this car most likely is going to be used on the track. However, B, it is a pure investment piece. Now, have you seen with the market on these, there's hardly any up for sale. It has a 4.4 twin turbo engine. Like I said, is one of the true and one of the only real true UK track icon cars. With the lack of these coming up for sale, there's only really one way that these prices are going, and that's up. Now, once this car is fully protected, we can't wait to be handing it over to this good client of ours who, to be honest with you, is picking up one of the most exciting cars we've got in the workshop at the moment. This is probably going to be a tricky decision for him, whether to take it and admire it within his collection or just even leave it up for sale with us, because I'm sure he's going to make a nice few pennies on this.
Cleaning is very important for PPF. This is the most important part for PPF. They give a warranty for 10 years and the color doesn't change. Think about that. This plastic going in the sun for 10 years, but color stays the same. If you get like cheaper PPF, which will turn into yellow. That's why XPEL is more expensive. This is soap with the water, yeah. Couple of soap you can use. Some companies, they make their own soap, but we're using a Johnson Baby. This is to make the film slippery, not to stick. See, I'm cleaning again. I put up soap and I'm cleaning the squeegee. If any dust come from there, yeah, so it'll come out. Yeah, perfect.
here?
I feel it. I feel if any dot there, anything. If there's any dot, so I'll try to take it off. If it doesn't come off, it means it's not a dust, it's a paint. So I feel it every time before I start. So I know where is the dot, that's not a dust.
So there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please like, subscribe and share. And don't forget to hit the notification button. Until next time, see you later.